Imagine spending millions of dollars and years of painstaking work to restore one of the world's most precious paintings, only to unveil something so bizarre that the internet erupts in shock and mockery within hours. That's exactly what happened in 2020 when restorers revealed the true face of the mystic lamb in the Ghent Altarpiece. The reaction was instant and brutal. People called it creepy, uncanny, even cartoon-like. But here's the twist that nobody expected. This wasn't a restoration gone wrong. This was the face the original artist painted nearly 600 years ago. So the real question isn't, what did they do to this masterpiece? It's, why did someone hide the truth for centuries? The Ghent Altarpiece isn't just another old painting hanging in a museum. This is a monumental work of art that has survived wars, Nazi theft, fires, and centuries of turbulent history. Completed in 1432, it stands as one of the first great masterpieces of the Northern Renaissance, a turning point in art history that changed how artists would paint forever. The altarpiece consists of 12 massive panels that open and close like a sacred book. When fully displayed, it measures over 11 feet tall and 15 feet wide. Every square inch is packed with intricate details, radiant figures, impossible landscapes, rich symbolism, and theological meaning woven into every brushstroke. This extraordinary work was created by two brothers, Hubert and Jan van Eyck. While historical records suggest Hubert may have designed the overall structure, most scholars agree that Jan brought the vision to life with his revolutionary technique. And yes, this is the same Jan van Eyck who fundamentally transformed oil painting as we know it.
Before the Van Eyck brothers, most artists worked primarily with tempera or fresco. These mediums had limitations. Colors dried quickly, details were harder to achieve, and layering was challenging. But Jan van Eyck mastered the use of oil paints, allowing for unprecedented levels of detail, luminosity, and realism. After him, the art world would never be the same. Today, this priceless artwork remains in its original location, St. Bavo's Cathedral in the Belgian city of Ghent. Unlike most masterpieces locked away in climate-controlled museum vaults, the Ghent Altarpiece still serves its original spiritual purpose in an active place of worship. So why is this painting so monumentally important? 3 reasons stand out above all others. First, the technical mastery. Van Eyck achieved a level of detail that simply hadn't existed before his time. The way he painted fabrics, metallic reflections, human skin, gemstones, everything looked astonishingly real. So realistic, in fact, that for centuries people believed he must have used mirrors or some kind of optical device to achieve such precision. Second, his revolutionary understanding of light and color. At a time when painting remained largely symbolic rather than naturalistic, Van Eyck painted light as it actually behaves in the physical world. He captured sunbeams streaming through windows, the gleam bouncing off armor, moisture glistening on landscapes, visual phenomena that other artists hadn't yet figured out how to represent convincingly.
Third, the profound theological composition. The altarpiece isn't merely visually stunning, it's deeply meaningful on multiple levels. Each panel contributes to a greater narrative about humanity's redemption through Christ's sacrifice, symbolized by the mystic lamb at the center of the work. Everything is designed to move the viewer emotionally and spiritually, whether they're religious or not. So when we discuss a restoration touching this painting, we're not talking about just any artwork. We're talking about one of the most influential pieces in all of Western art, quite literally a cornerstone of modern painting. Now, let's explore the painting itself, because the Ghent Altarpiece offers 2 completely different experiences, depending on whether it's open or closed. The contrast is absolutely striking. When closed, the exterior panels present a more subdued vision. At the top, we see 4 figures, 2 Old Testament prophets, Zechariah and Micah, and 2 sibyls, pagan prophetesses who, according to Christian tradition, also foretold Christ's coming. Their names are carved into the bottom edge of each panel. Below them, stretched across 4 panels, is the Annunciation scene. On one side stands the Archangel Gabriel. On the other, the Virgin Mary, with a white dove hovering above representing the Holy Spirit. They occupy a Flemish interior, complete with wooden furniture, cloth, and a pitcher, details that seem pulled directly from everyday life. The scene overflows with symbolism. The enclosed room, the open book, the peaceful atmosphere, each element carries meaning that could fill an entire video.
On the lowest register kneel the donors who commissioned this magnificent work, Jodocus Vide and his wife Elizabeth Borlut. They're shown in prayer, flanked by their patron saints, John the Baptist and John the Evangelist. These saints are painted in grisal, a monochromatic technique that mimics sculpted stone. It's as if they guard the threshold to something far greater. Because when the altarpiece opens, everything transforms dramatically. The interior panels burst with color and cosmic vision. At the center of the upper level sits a majestic figure, interpreted as either God the Father or Christ in majesty, enthroned and wearing a triple crown with papal robes. To his left sits the Virgin Mary, to his right John the Baptist. Together they form a decis, a traditional composition where Christ acts as divine judge, flanked by figures who intercede for humanity. Surrounding them are choirs of angels. Some sing, others play musical instruments, including lutes and organs. But they're not merely decorative elements. These angels form a divine concert, rendered with such three-dimensional precision that they seem ready to step out of the painting. At the outer edges of this upper row stand Adam and Eve, completely nude in separate panels. They're portrayed with such raw physical realism that it's almost jarring to remember this painting was created for a church. They serve as constant reminders of original sin and humanity's need for redemption.
And that redemption unfolds in the lower panels. At the center of the entire altarpiece stands the most important scene, the adoration of the mystic lamb. In the heart of a luminous landscape, a white lamb stands atop an altar. Blood flows from its chest into a golden chalice. Above hovers the dove of the Holy Spirit. The light radiating from this center of the moment transforms the entire scene into a cosmic mass. This isn't portrayed as sorrowful sacrifice. It's an act of divine glory. Surrounding the Lamb, pilgrims arrive from every direction. There are martyrs carrying palms, virgins, prophets, apostles, popes, hermits, knights of Christ, and even pagan figures, including philosophers and righteous judges, representing virtue from the non-Christian world. It's as if all of humanity, across every era, has gathered to witness this sacred event. In the background, a radiant city gleams between rolling green hills, the New Jerusalem, symbol of paradise. In the foreground, a fountain spills crystal-clear water, inscribed above with the Latin words, Hic es fontes aquae vitae. This is the fountain of living water. Every corner of this altarpiece communicates something significant. No figure is placed randomly. Everything has purpose, message, meaning. And at the very center of it all sits that lamb, alive, gazing directly at you. Which brings us to the restoration controversy that exploded in 2020.
That year, the world's attention returned to the Ghent Altarpiece, not because of a new exhibition or dramatic theft, both of which have happened before, but because of a restoration that promised to return the work to its original 15th century appearance. The project was led by Belgium's Royal Institute for Cultural Heritage. This was an extraordinarily delicate intervention, not only because the painting is massive, with over 20 panels, but because it was buried under centuries of varnish, overpainting, and protective touch-ups. The goal was straightforward:
reveal the original version, showing what Van Eyck actually painted, rather than what later artists added in well-meaning attempts to preserve or improve the work. Restorers employed cutting-edge technology, X-rays, infrared imaging, multispectral scanning, and extremely precise chemical cleaning. Every layer was meticulously documented. Every detail was compared against historical records and high-resolution imaging.
What they discovered was remarkable, a true hidden layer beneath the surface. They found that several sections had been completely repainted during the 16th and 17th centuries. Some changes were minor aesthetic adjustments, others were complete reinterpretations. Among these discoveries, one stood out dramatically: the face of the mystic lamb. For centuries, the central lamb had displayed a serene expression. Its gaze was slightly averted, its appearance calm and symbolic, exactly what one might expect in a religious painting. But when restorers carefully removed the upper layers, another face emerged. This one had large, round, intensely human-like eyes. The pupils were wide open, staring directly at the viewer. The snout was shorter, the ears were positioned differently. The expression was confrontational, almost unsettling. Social media exploded immediately. The image went viral within hours. Some compared it to the infamous Ecce Homo restoration disaster in Borja, Spain. Others nicknamed it the humanoid lamb. Jokes flooded the internet alongside genuine outrage and confusion. How could anyone give such a bizarre face to such a sacred figure? But here's where the story takes its crucial turn. That new face wasn't new at all. It was the original face, painted by Jan van Eyck in 1432, covered up roughly a century later by someone who apparently found it too intense or unusual. At some point during the 16th century, a well-meaning artist likely repainted the lamb's face entirely, softening its expression and altering its features. In fact, close examination of the pre-restoration version reveals something fascinating. The lamb appeared to have 4 ears, 2 from the later retouching and 2 from Van Eyck's original layer beneath.
So, the restorers didn't create anything bizarre or wrong. They simply revealed what had always been there, hidden beneath centuries of modification. This discovery forces us to confront an uncomfortable question. Do we want to see art as it was originally created, even when it challenges our expectations or makes us uncomfortable? Or do we prefer the softened, altered versions we've grown accustomed to over time? The Ghent Altarpiece restoration controversy isn't really about whether the lamb looks strange. It's about authenticity versus comfort, about historical truth versus aesthetic preference. It reminds us that our relationship with art from the past is complex, shaped not just by the artist's original vision, but by centuries of interpretation, modification, and cultural change layered on top. Van Eyck painted that lamb with those eyes for a reason. We may never fully understand his intent, but now, for the first time in 5 centuries, we can see his actual work rather than someone else's revision of it. And perhaps that's exactly what great art should do: make us look closer, think deeper, and question what we thought we knew.